Hi, my name is Gianna Liberatore, and I will be discussing the salient points in chapters 1 of 2 of Diversity and Equity in the Classroom. So chapter 1 was titled Multicultural Education, a Foundation for Schools. In this chapter, we learned that race is a political and social construct. It actually has no basis in biology. It was something that was created to have an excuse for one race to be superior to another race, but really there's just one race, and that is the human race. We learned about cultural pluralism, which is respecting people from diverse cultures and their ways of life, and this is something that is essential to a democratic country or state. Multicultural education was really a foundational principle in this chapter. It's a field in education that calls for total school reform, wanting to develop happy, creative, ethical, and fulfilled people who work towards a more compassionate and socially just society, and discussing and learning about all kinds of culture. Some misconceptions about multicultural education is that it causes divisiveness, it creates reverse discrimination, or that it fosters a curriculum that opposes the dominant culture, but this is not true. The goals of multicultural education are to attain equality and equity in education, to eliminate the achievement gap, to develop responsible and empowered citizens. Some models and theories that go with multicultural education are the ethic of care theory by Nell Noddings, the sociocultural theory of learning by Lev Vygotsky, and education for democracy developed by John Dewey. Chapter 2, The Power of Culture. In this chapter, we learned about Frederick Erikson, who taught us that everyone is cultural, even if you come from the dominant culture. Everyone is multicultural, and that culture is learned. We learned about explicit culture versus implicit culture. Explicit culture are elements that are seen, heard, worn, and eaten, things like dress, clothing, food, that kind of stuff. Implicit culture are elements that are hidden or embedded within a community, such as their beliefs and values. Ethnicity, we learned, is a sense of peoplehood that has roots in common ancestry. And there are 3 levels of culture, which was developed by Valle. Level 1 are those things, those explicit culture items that you can see, like dress, food, art, and music. Level 2 are customs, practices, greetings, and interactional patterns. Level 3 are shared values, beliefs, norms, and expectations. There is such a thing as hidden curriculum, which are messages about who and what is most important that maybe is not always trying to be portrayed, but is actually happening. An example of that would be learning only about white males and places of power, which could send the message that women or people of color don't belong in places of power. We learned about individualism versus collectivism. Individualism is the belief that a single person can achieve success through hard work, whereas collectivism is the belief that, you know, we're looking together as a group, we're working together, we're helping each other out. And then finally, in this chapter, we learn that teachers are cultural mediators and that it's our job to facilitate academic and social growth through culture in our students. Thank you for listening.